Welcome guys, it's time for some fun facts and fun tips for the week. Let's start with tip number 3. Let's learn the technique to resize rows and columns to accommodate data of different sizes. In the first method, we go into direct selection of columns and rows. For instance, I want to increase the size of a particular column. What I do is I go to the column, I go and stretch from along the borders of the column on the top navigation pane where the name of the column is mentioned. For instance, I want to stretch the column B, I do it in this way. What if I want to stretch all the columns in an equal manner? I can't go one by one and go on selecting and stretching up all the columns. It's quite a tedious process. However, we can do this with much ease if we can select all the multiple columns together from the top. Remember, don't select from the row first. You have to select and click on the alphabet A or any other column that you want and select multiple columns and then resize them together to a definite size that you want. The same goes with rows as well. If I want to increase the gap between rows, I will need to select the rows from here. I don't need to select the columns in this way or something like this, but I will have to select the rows specifically from here and then increase the size of the rows. It will increase automatically all the rows that are selected to a specific size. So that's it for the first method. That is, we are doing it in the most easiest method that we could have done. So I have taken another example of data so as to explain the format tab which is mentioned inside the home tab, and inside the format tab you can see a lot many options available to perform such kind of operations which we did earlier on. In this case, in the data that I have shown, the employee table, that is the employee name column, is not completely displayed because the size of the column and the data inside it is quite different. We can resize the column according to the width of the data that is present inside the column. We need to just go and select the column on the top, go to the format tab inside the home tab, and in the format section you are going to select auto fit column width. That's it. The column resizes to the size of the data that is present in that. It will accommodate the size of the maximum size of the data that is incorporated within that particular column. For instance, I increase the size of the data in this particular column. I'm going to select this column again. I'm selecting auto fit the column width. You can see it has resized to the column width, accommodating the maximum size that one data is occupying in that particular column. Similarly, we can also increase or decrease the size of the rows depending upon the kind of content that is accommodating that particular column or row. So we are going to select the row. In this case, I'm going to select the rows and I'm going to go to the home tab. In the home tab, I'm going to go to the format option. In the format option, I'm going to select auto fit row height, and there you go, we have resized all the rows. There are two more options that we can learn from the format option inside the home tab, that is mentioning the specific width of the row or the column itself. Let's see an example. For instance, we select the column H. In this case, I go to the format tab, I select the column width directly. I'm not selecting auto fit, I'm selecting column width directly, and I'm going to mention the width of the column to be 25. In this case, the column width exactly spaces up to 25 units. Similarly, I can select multiple columns, the ones like I have selected, like column number K, L, and M. I'm going to go to the format tab, I'm going to go to the column width and again set the column width to say 20. Each of the columns have resized to the width of 20. So the format tab can be used to resize column width as well as row width to a definite size or unit that is specified by you. At the same time, you can also specify a default width if you are working on different kinds of sheets where you will be rigorously and regularly changing the kind of content that you have, and you have a specific width in mind. You can mention the default width in the default width option mentioned inside the format tab and use that for directly modifying the column width to your default width. So there you go. We have learned resizing of rows and columns using two different methods. One is the direct method and second is using the format tab mentioned inside the home tab. There are many options inside the format option inside the home tab. However, we'll be doing those options specifically in the future videos so that you really understand the context with which kind of data those options can be applied. So thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. Do like and subscribe. Do press the bell icon so that you can be notified for future updates. Stay home, stay safe. Ciao.